You know, they say, this is an interesting intro. You know, they say who likes money? The Jews.
Yeah.
But you know who else likes money? Everyone. We all like money. But there's a lot of things going on in the world these days. I want to have a conversation about religion. It's a big thing for you.
Yep.
You know, the first time that I went to temple in many years was because you said, why don't you ever go to temple? Why don't you ever go to synagogue? I said, I don't know. That's not my thing. I don't go. Why don't you go? Why don't you go? I said, all right, maybe I will. You know, I went the next week. And I don't think I told you this. I went. I sent you a picture. You know, I sat in the back by myself. And out of nowhere, I just started crying. I was like, oh, what is this thing that is coming out of my eyes? I don't even know what this is. But it was a moment where I said, what is happening right now? And, you know, I've been back a few times. I don't go the Jews do Saturday morning. You know,
Friday night, that's rough.
Well, Friday night, they go Friday night if you're dedicated. Saturday morning, super dedicated. But, you know, our Christian friends go Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Our friends in Islam, they're doing it 5 times a day. They're doing their thing. But thank you for just re-energizing that spirit. So now I go every once in a while, and it's a good thing, especially with everything that's happened since October 7th. But before I get into religion, you know, you're a unique guy. Assyrian, Armenian. Armenia is I think the most Christian country other than Romania in Europe and in that side of the world, Middle Eastern area. But you tell this story to our friend Bill Maher. Again, here it is. There's a theme with Bill Maher. We're getting somewhere. It's not random. Club Random is his podcast. But here's where you're telling a story about when you were in the Army, born in Iran, but made it America. Here's a story at 9:23.
Uniform, you know, we go to Waffle House and the lady looks at me and says, you know, why are you wearing our uniform? I said, because I'm in your military. She says, but where are you from? I've never seen somebody look like you.
Really?
I said, I'm from Iran.
Wow.
I said, you've never met an Iranian before? She said, I've never met an Iranian before. She says, what are you doing in our military? I said, can I trust you? Of course you can trust me. I said, I'm a spy. Everything I'm learning to take back to Iran. Why do you think I would join the Army? No, but there was a lot of people in the Army that were worried the fact that an Iranian is in the U.S. military. No, I get out of the Army.
So
I'm going to be
let me just ask you direct. By the way, Robert O'Rourke, he kind of motivated this question. Pat, on camera, are you a spy?
That's so funny. Should have seen the girls' reaction. Alabama, Waffle House. No. I mean, my dad, who was always curious, I think this was like 7 years ago, he sits me down, he says, you can tell me. I said, what do you mean? He said, no, you can tell me. I'm your dad. You can trust me. I said, Dad, I have no clue what you're talking about.
He wanted you to come out of the closet? What was going on?
He says, you can tell me, are you with the CIA? I said, Dad, stop.
Damn.
He says, no, if you are, I'm telling you, I won't tell him. I said, Dad, I'm not with the CIA. He says, no, I know you're with the CIA. I said, what do you mean I'm with the CIA, right? He says, how do you know this kind of stuff? Our family, we were never like, it's not like you went to college, you got a degree. How do you know all this strategy stuff politically? And I said, Dad, I'm just interested. He says, well, whenever you're comfortable to tell me that you were in the CIA, just whisper to me. I will never tell anybody. I said, if he watches this, he'll remember that conversation. No.
He was convinced that you were part of the CIA. Convinced.
He was convinced. He was convinced because he had a relative that was. And they were in the journalistic space, and that person got arrested, and they got in some trouble. So, you know, to him, he was worried that maybe my son is in the CIA. I'm like, Dad, I am not in the CIA, man. If I was, it'd be a very different life.
So, good to know. We cleared the air.
Yeah.
I think Gabriel thinks maybe. Who knows? We'll see about that. But do you remember the podcast we did on October 7th? Do you remember who was there? Do you remember that?
October 7th, who was there?
It was an interesting day.
Okay.
I remember that day. I'm seeing if you remember. You have a memory like an elephant.
October 7th, who was there? I'm not,
this is, 10 days before your birthday, 11 days before your birthday.
Give me 5 names of who it could
I'll give
be.
you names you're going to know.
I know who it is.
So I'll give you a hint. It was on a Saturday morning. was a special podcast on a Saturday morning. I love coming up early on a Saturday to do podcasts. My favorite thing.
Don't remember.
Okay,
Who
so it was Tim Pool
Okay,
and Jimmy Dore.
got it.
Remember this?
Yes, of course.
We did this podcast.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it happened that morning. Breaking news. And I have family in Israel, friends in Israel, American though,
Yeah.
Jewish, and I'm just, oh my God, this is what's going on. I'm like, all right, we're gonna talk about this today. I'll never forget. They go to Tim. I said, Tim, what do you think was going on? He goes, yeah, I don't really know what happened. I just found this out. Like, what's? He didn't really have a lot. This guy could go for days on Ukraine. This guy, the Donbass region, everything. And Jimmy Dore's like, yeah, it's not my thing. I don't know. I go, well, I'll tell you what happened. They came in, they did this. And then a couple days later, we had Charlie Kirk on. Who gave the stand down order? What's going on? All this speculation. So now, talked about Biden, started with Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Palestine. Who knows what's going on in Taiwan? You see what's going on in Yemen. The world's in chaos right now. And one of the things I say is, there's been wars in Syria. You know what's going on in Iran, Yemen, Sudan, Lebanon. Hundreds of thousands of people, not millions of people that they're not covering it, nothing. All of a sudden, this war breaks out. No Jews, no news is what they say. This thing breaks out. We had Bassem Youssef on the podcast. All this going on. Ben Shapiro, Candace, Christ is King, everything that's going on. But then they say, the puppet master in all this is the country you were born in, Iran. The great Satan, America, death to America. There's all this going on. I don't know if you saw that. I'm sure you saw, that they elected a new president today in Iran. I think we have that story. Because you've interviewed the Shah, Reza Pahlavi. Incredible. What an opportunity. The new president, the reformist, Masoud Pezeshkian. He's the first president, reformist, to, engage with the West and allow women to, here it is right here, not necessarily have to be covered with their headscarves. Yeah. What is it? Iran voters elect their first reformist president in 2 decades. So it's sort of a bigger question, but I feel like, you're no fan of this regime. You've been critical of Israel at times, AIPAC. One of the best videos I've seen you do is, you're doing something right when you're pissing off both sides. Or do you stand for the Muslims, patriot? Do you stand for the? Or what are you? So make some sense as a Christian. People gotta understand. Like people ask me, is Bet David? Is he Jewish? I go, no, that's Ben. Ben David would be Bet because that's son of David. Bet is the house of David. So Christian. But there's always from Iran. Does he side with the Muslim of the Iran? Makes some sense, I think, to what's going on. But from someone who's born in Iran, but Christian, but loves America, you're proud America first guy, makes some sense for what's going on here in the world today.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can always judge a community by the product they produce, right? Period. You can whatever kind of a product they produce, you have to look at them, okay? And the religion, whatever the religion is, you can say family, religion, sports team, schools, like a lot of schools will say, well, 3 presidents have gone to our university, or, 7 billionaires graduated from this school. They're proud to, 57 NFL players came out of our high school. These are things. What do you produce? Okay, what do you produce? Jewish community, what do they produce? Is it a lot of money-making people? Is it people that do well financially? A community, whatever city that Jews live in, how do you feel about that community? Would you live in that community? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Is it safer? Are the streets nasty? Is there a lot of crime? These are statistics. You can love or hate it. It's just purely I'm asking a statistical question, and I'm not a Jew. I'm a Christian myself, right? Music industry. Who owns it? Bronfman. You got all these names. Hollywood. Who owns it? A lot of Jews. better watch your language because God forbid, if you say something, they may do this to you. You know, Lucian Grange, you know, Leor Cohen or whatever these names are that, you know, got to be careful. I think Leor Cohen is now with YouTube, by the way. He's the main guy at the top of YouTube that follows a lot of the music content within YouTube.
He's one of the guys that started what, Def Jam?
Leor he's a heavyweight guy, but also guess what? So now here's the flip side of it, right? So Thomas Sowell was asked, hey, somebody asked Thomas Sowell, hey, what can we do as a Jewish community to be liked more? Because, you know, a lot of people hate us. And his answer was, well, lose a little bit. You're winning too much. And you got to lose. You're constantly winning. And when you're winning too much, people don't like that, right? You're going to create a lot of enemies. Okay. So now some people are going to be, well, look at this. You know, you're defending Jews and all this other stuff. No. Let me ask you this question. Whatever your faith is, whatever the community you are part of, would you like the same kind of results with you? What if somebody says, well, look, what's Muslims known for, or Christians known for, or blacks known for, or Middle Easterns known for, Asians known for? Take whatever you want to know, whatever it's known for. What if they say, wow, that community is known for wherever they live, it's safe, they make a lot of money, they control the real estate industry, they control the music industry, they control the whatever industry, political industry. Okay, guess what? They made it to the top, and they now have a lot of influence. And now you hate them for it. Yeah, no problem. I'm a Syrian, right? And Armenian. You can't say that about Assyrians. We don't have a country. And we used to be the most powerful country, and we were the first Christians. The battle is, no, it's the Armenians were the first Christians. No, it's the Assyrians that were the first Christians. But Assyrians don't have a country today. You know, it wasn't Iraq. We were the ones. We got arrogant. We had all the power, and we lost it all. And the whole story of 180,000 Assyrians, famine overnight, God took everything because they were building such a big empire, because they wanted to go to war with God, and Assyrians thought they could go against the lions, and they would go to kings of the jungle. Lions are not the kings of the jungle, and they would cut their heads off because we're the kings, we're Assyrians, we're powerful, right? Guess what? You also learn a lot about people on what they do once they have power. And that's the area where the Jewish community can be judged for, where what are you doing with all that power? How are you monetizing the power and influence that you have now? What are you doing with the music industry? Are you cutthroat behind closed doors? God forbid somebody says, can you cancel somebody and ruin their lives just because they said something? And then do you go and get politicians to create laws to make freedom of speech impossible for people to criticize the Jewish community? Well, now you're abusing your power and influence, okay? You know, credit to you on what you did. Now you're officially a bully if you're doing that. If you're doing that, you're a bully. So when they said, well, you know, Candace Owens, what Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro did, they kind of reeled her in, and then boom, they're doing a lawsuit. I think it was Weinstein or somebody that reported it. And Brett or one of those guys.
Brett or Eric.
Yeah, was it Greenwald? One of these guys.
Glenn Greenwald.
Glenn Greenwald reported it, that this is what's going on. And then the market's like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe that happened. Well, if that's true, Daily Wire, that's bully. If you deceptive, if you did, right? So, yeah. And for me as an Assyrian, when I sit there and I watch what the Jewish community did as their community, hey, I would love to see Assyrians have that kind of clout. I would love Assyrians to be united. I remember when I was younger, a guy named David, first time in my life, I saw a lot of money, cash. I said, man, why is it that Jews are always so good in business? I asked this guy. He was a dealership guy. He says, because in our community, when one Jew makes money, 5 Jews make money. We always do business together. And I sat there, I'm like, you know, it's so funny because a lot of other communities are like, no, it's my money. No, I'm not giving equity. No. By the way, do you realize a big part of that conversation with David is the reason why I give all my guys equity in PHP? So when it comes, guess how many people we've lost since I sold the company? No one's left.
Right.
Why? Because everybody owns a piece of the company. We collectively work together. So these principles are evergreen. It's not just available to Jews or Christians or to Muslims or whites or blacks or whatever. It's evergreen. Anybody can apply it. So I think that's that part. In regards to Iran and what's going on there, and anybody in the history of the world, only 2 countries I've ever said Mark Bad America or death upon America. First, it was North Korea, and it wasn't that public where everybody talked about it. But the real one that was super public, that everybody talked about it, was when Khomeini said, Mark Bad America, and his entire regime was screaming, Mark Bad America, death upon America. What part of that language is a synergist, friendly, unifying? None of it. Yeah, so if you want me to sit there and believe that, yeah, we are peaceful and all that, really? Death upon America? Well, not to the people. The people are good. It's really to the politicians. I don't care what it's towards. That is not a language of a welcoming religion for me to sit there and want to negotiate with you. And I've met a lot of great Muslims. I have a lot of good ones around us that we sit there and have good conversations, good debates with. I don't understand the concept of Mark Bad America. If you ran a country and somebody said death upon whatever country you live in or whatever religion you're a part of, how would you react to it? Actually think about it. And imagine if the other community that says death upon your community starts making, arguments on why, no, it's not what you think, but you don't understand what U.S. has done to all these people, and you don't understand it, but you don't understand it, you don't understand. This country's only been around for 50-something years, and they became number one. Iran's been around for a few thousand years. China's been around for a few thousand years, and U.S. has been able to do this. No wonder you hate America. I get it. I don't blame you. So there is that envy part that, so when you win and you're winning at the highest level, when you're small, you have to act big. When you're big, you have to act small. And you have to have a good balance of that. You never talk out of line, because when you're big, you don't want to wake up enemies and create resentment. Sometimes Trump did that and does that, right? Certain people, you don't need to wake up and rile them up. Just kind of, hey, get it? It's cool. It's this. I understand. So sometimes some of these communities wake up unnecessary enemies, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I think sometimes the Jewish community gets judged for that because of the power that they have in different kind of industries. Mm-hmm. They throw their weight around. So, if that's part of their history, that's a well-deserved criticism that they get.
Are you coming to the Vault? Oh, what's the Vault? You know about the Vault? The Vault is the ultimate event for entrepreneurs to level up their game and learn from the best in the game. Last year, we had Tom Brady and Mike Tyson, and I said to our CEO, Patrick Bet-David, I said, how are we gonna top that? He said, how we're gonna top that? How about The Rock? So this year, Patrick Bet-David went out and got Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So he's gonna be there along with PBD, the Biz Doc, and me. Yeah, if you want to join us at the Vault Conference, check out thevaultconference.com. It's going down in West Palm Beach, September 4th through 7th. If you want to make more money, improve your business, and expand your network, you have to be at the Vault. We'll see you there. Oh, you like that? Well, if you want to see more of that, check out this clip right here. And if you want even more, check out this clip right here, only on the SOSCAST.